A few years ago, CNN published more than 700 articles on Christine Blasey Ford and aired hundreds of hours of televised discussions in the face of a complete lack of evidence that Justice Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her. Why the silence now from Hollywood celebrities and the media over sexual assault accusations against Joe Biden? Where's the hashtag #MeToo movement when you need them? Is Joe Biden off limits? Has the glaring media hypocrisy and double standard now been accepted as normal? Unlike Blasey Ford, Tara Reade told multiple people about the Biden incident at the time it happened. Not 3 decades later, Reade worked for him in the U.S. Senate and actually has friends from that time who recall Reade talking about the assault. But since when does truth matter to the Democrat media complex? I'm David Fiorazo, and this is Christ and Culture. So what about ABC, CBS, and NBC? Immediately following the report of accusations against Kavanaugh, they were all over it. In those first 12 days of Ford's claim, the morning and evening news shows churned out 305 minutes of coverage, all assuming that Ford was telling the truth and Kavanaugh was a guilty, lying misogynist. 305 minutes in 12 days. So how many reports, articles, or interviews were done by the liberal media in the first 12 days of Tara Reade's sexual assault charge against Joe Biden? I'm waiting. 0, none. Goose egg, nada, zilch, silence. The Federalist's Molly Hemingway provides a great contrast here. Quote, when Christine Blasey Ford accused federal judge Brett Kavanaugh of nearly killing her and trying to rape her when she was in high school, she was unable to provide any evidence that the two had even met. That didn't stop media outlets from doing everything they could to destroy Brett Kavanaugh's life and keep him from becoming a Supreme Court justice. When Tara Reade accused her former employer, Joe Biden, of sexually assaulting her when he was a United States senator, media outlets buried the news. Then there's NPR, aka National Progressive Radio. Almost a month after Tara Reade accused Joe Biden of a 1993 sexual assault, and a week after the nation's top newspapers finally touched the story, NPR issued a report on Sunday morning. Now, this is slow for NPR, which was the very first to champion the unproven sexual harassment charges of Anita Hill against conservative Justice Clarence Thomas in 1991. Just 2 years ago, if you remember, NPR jumped to interview Washington Post reporter Emma Brown on the same day her first story on Christine Blasey Ford's accusations against Brett Kavanaugh were published. A Nexus search found 224 stories at NPR with Ford's name mentioned. Speaking of the disgraced Washington Post, columnist Ruth Marcus wrote a book called Supreme Ambition about the sexual assault accusations against Justice Kavanaugh and naturally defended Christine Blasey Ford at the time. Guess what Marcus says today? Well, the hashtag Believe All Women, or a hashtag #MeToo movement, are dumb because a credible sexual assault allegation has been leveled against former VP Joe Biden now. Are you beginning to see the problem here? Friends of Tara Reade say they remember her speaking about the assault around the time it happened, as well as a willingness on Reade's part to approach law enforcement with the claims. So where's the Women's March? You know, the same mob that kicked out Christian pro-life women because they didn't meet liberal standards. Have you heard an activist recently or a feminist say anything at all about allegations that came out a month ago almost against Joe Biden? I didn't think so, because I didn't either. Where are the elite Hollywood celebs? Where's Lady Gaga? She even did a PSA with Joe Biden about sexual abuse. I know, awkward. And when the former vice president appeared at the 2016 Oscars to discuss sexual abuse, the fawning Hollywood Democrats gave him a standing ovation. Of course. Now, Alyssa Milano was one of the main social media drivers of the mob fury toward Justice Brett Kavanaugh. So, when she remained silent recently about the Biden sexual assault, fair-minded people began calling for her to address it. Now, notice I said fair-minded. Then, when she finally did, not only did she endorse Joe for president in 2020, but apparently she's changed her mind now about due process and thinks Biden should be given the benefit of the doubt. But proving now that we should not put all of Hollywood into the same hypocritical basket, kudos to actress Rose McGowan, who called out Milano, addressing her directly via Twitter. Quote, "You are a fraud." This is about holding the media accountable. You go after Trump and Kavanaugh saying, "Believe victims." You are a lie. You have always been a lie. The corrupt DNC is in on the smear job of Tara Reade. So are you. Shame. Now, Biden has done plenty of interviews in the last month, and out of nearly 4 dozen questions asked, not one person in the media asked about his newest accuser, Tara Reade. But do you know what irresponsible hosts like NBC's Chuck Todd invited Biden to do? Trash Trump, of course, and comment on the coronavirus outbreak.
Do you think there is blood on the president's hands, considering the slow response?
Then, shortly after, Brooke Baldwin at CNN gave Biden another 6 minutes of free airtime with no questions about sexual assault charges and asked 3 times. Check it out.
Mr. Vice President, do you think President Trump is responsible for the deaths of Americans?
Wow. Now, we're learning a lot this time about the media, aren't we? In an NBC News poll, people are split over trusting what President Trump says related to COVID-19. I get it. But NBC ignored their own results that only 26% of Americans trust what Joe Biden says. They didn't let people know that. Now, that's pretty inconvenient when the poll is done at a liberal entertainment outlet like NBC. Now, finally, in the former VP's own words, during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, he immediately stood up for Christine Blasey Ford, saying, quote, "For a woman to come forward in the glaring lights of focus nationally, you've got to start off with the presumption that at least the essence of what she's talking about is real." So this is one time I actually agree with Joe Biden. So finally, now a political correspondent mentioned the story, but what angle did CNN take? Was there any concern for Tara Reade, the woman who came forward? Nope. Democrats are actually worried about how this is going to come off, how to handle the incident. So rather than factual reporting, the media is wondering how they're going to fix this inconvenience. Sad. Media malpractice is on full display on this story, as well as the current so-called reporting on the coronavirus, exposing the agenda of the media to take down Trump and Republicans, even if it means destroying the economy, or in this case, covering up sexual abuse. Americans can demand the media tell the truth and report fairly, and we should. But they are way too far gone and cannot be trusted. They just can't help themselves any longer. It's clear that they don't serve all American citizens anymore. God bless you, and keep speaking the truth about things that matter.